Hello one and all, and welcome to Behind the Glass, your weekly automotive podcast hosted by two rather uninformed enthusiasts.
No.
I'm Sam from the YouTube channel Seen Through Glass.
I'm Tony from Gravelwood Car Sales.
And you can watch us each week. We hope you enjoy the episode. We were really excited about this episode.
We're a bit tired now.
About 5 hours ago.
Yeah.
We then had to kill some time until our guest arrived, and I would say some of that excitement has drained.
Sorry, everyone.
Tati, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. Sorry I'm late.
Yeah, so do you want to explain to people?
I set an alarm, I thought for 7 o'clock this morning, and either it went off and I was just living in cloud cuckoo land, or it didn't go off. So at 9:25 this morning, bearing in mind I was meant to be here at 10 o'clock, I texted Sam. I don't even know what I said to you.
You said I'm going to be 30 minutes late. I was like, no. That's definitely longer than that. Just in case people don't know who you are or
Probably,
why you're
very
here.
likely.
Well, no, I disagree, and I'll get into that in a second. But what's your elevator pitch? How do you explain to people who you are and what you do these days?
Currently, I do Instagram. This is how it goes. Instagram. I do the internet, and I make an occasional video, and I put it on the internet, and then people watch it. And then
now that needs a bit more of a disclaimer because these days to say I make videos and put them internet
not
sounds
like that.
strange.
No,
yes.
It's about my car. It's very non-sexy. Nothing like that.
Sure. Okay. There we go. Because it's a car audience.
It's a car audience,
and it's important to say that you're here because you're a car person.
Yes, exactly. And it's all about my lovely little Land Rover Blue Tit and all of her trials and tribulations and life. Life with a Land Rover, which is never smooth rolling, but it does make for a very happy little life.
Go on.
And your handle on, like, what is it, Tati Titty or something?
No.
Like that?
Almost close. Over in the Rover, but close.
That's on OnlyFans, not on Instagram.
No, OnlyFans.
It's Over in the Rover, mate. But Blue Tit is the name of the car.
Right, and excuse me for being stupid, but I don't really watch a lot of internet. I've seen you on Instagram because you get suggested, but I don't watch you. Do you do YouTube as well?
I don't really watch YouTube or make YouTube or do any. I don't touch YouTube.
So you're not an automotive YouTuber. You're
no
Instagram.
Instagram.
Oh,
Totally
this is even
different
better.
fish, yeah.
But we're going to get on just fine.
Because Tony hates YouTube as well.
I don't understand it.
Well, we can get into that.
Yeah.
But actually, to pick up on what you just said, one of the main reasons you're here, well, there's two reasons you're here. Firstly, I'm fascinated with your content and also want to understand it so that I can jump on your algorithm. But secondly, I have a huge compassion for your content because my dad had a Defender 90 forever. But also, about a month and a half ago, Tony walked into this room and he stepped down and he went, "Who's this tit bird who keeps coming up on my Instagram with a Land Rover?"
It means someone I follow is obviously watching you on Instagram. I get it's awkward. It is. I mean, you're very similar people by the looks of things.
At that point, I was like, okay, well, we should really try and get you on the show because if Tony is seeing your content,
that's my good face. Even Tony,
even I'm looking at it.
Genuinely, because most times I say to him like, "Oh, should we get them on as a guest?" And they go, "I don't know who that is."
Yeah.
But this time I thought, I thought if you'd at least seen the content. So, in case people hadn't seen it, I think it is fair to say, at least in the UK, and I do really want to get super nerdy on your demographics later, but I do think it's fair to say you've been blowing up a little bit, right? I mean, when did you start uploading content?
I'm not sure blowing up's the term. I don't really know what's going on at the moment, but something odd. I started properly in August, so almost a year.
Yeah, that's blowing up. How many followers do you have today?
340.
Oh, it's a joke.
Yeah, it's a total joke. That is blowing up.
Is that okay?
342,000, I think, as of this morning, because I'm that nerd who looked. In essentially 12 months.
How long have you been going for?
10 years.
Yeah, but
and
you're
I
on
have
millions.
less.
No, he's not.
On Instagram, I definitely have less.
Okay, YouTube.
Combined, like on a good day.
Yeah.
But in the grand scheme of things, you're blowing up. So I appreciate your diminutive behaviour.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
I'm not sure it's quite the right word, but I get what you were saying.
Can you translate for us if we
one
get it wrong?
thing that you'll understand about me is I do just sometimes lunge for words or expressions. But I feel like they're sort of right, and I just commit.
No, I'm the same.
It was the fact that you're sort of talking down your success, I appreciate and admire.
Very
but
modest.
It's very modest, but it should be celebrated because I think there's a few things. You had barriers to go up against. Firstly, you are female in the automotive space, which I think must be an interesting position to be in. Secondly, you're on quite a car that has a very loyal follower base, and you're talking about mechanics and working on the car, which I think, again, could infuriate some forums.
Yeah.
And as far as I understand it, you don't have is anyone in your family in cars? Like, what was your way in there?
So, where should I start on the list of questions?
Okay, start by revealing your dad owns Rolls Royce. So, does anyone in the family have an automotive connection?
No. My sister's getting into it in the last couple of years, and she's just flying and living her best life. But no, parents deeply uninterested. Dad would say, "Love you, Dad," but Dad would say,
"Does he listen?"
Yeah,
he wanted this one.
He's very practical, and he used to be in the army and drive tanks and blah blah blah. So he
we
knows.
Should get him on.
You'd love that, wouldn't you?
Lovely, yeah.
He knows mechanics, but he's
not
he's
a
not a
such.
petrol head.
Okay,
Right.
Fine.
Mum's
got a great car, by the way.
Bless her. Oh, she's so sweet. So she very kindly lent me her Rangy.
Why didn't you bring the blue thing?
Is that what she calls it? She calls it a Ranger, or that's your nickname for it?
No, it's my nickname for it.
Okay, it's an Evoque.
It's an Evoque.
Yeah.
And she lent it to me, bless her. And a few months ago, we were having a chat about it, and I was rebuilding my carb at the time, and she was like, "Oh, has my car got carb?" And I was like, "Oh, bless you. No, but that's so sweet." And it was so, cause she was like getting on board with all the learning as well. And I was like, "This is so sweet because we're all," and then now she knows what a carburetor is.
So more than I know.
And me. And as we
doubt
talk,
that.
I do know a little bit
wrong.
about carburetors, but
Go on.
as we talk about your car, a lot of people won't know what car you have. So
I have a 1985 Land Rover 90, and it's called Blue Tit.
that
and
is a proper pile of shit.
it's really not, because it's got a 2.5 naturally aspirated petrol engine, which sounds...
Oh, it's petrol.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Well, carburetor.
Right. Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, I know loads about carburetors.
So you properly caught about that. Welcome to the most mechanically minded podcast in the automotive schmear. So my dad's was in 1989.
Was he?
1989. We've still got it, to be fair. And it is a petrol engine as well, but I don't think it's a 2.5. Did they do a lesser? Did they do a
2.25.
I think I maybe have the 2.25.
On a 19 what, sorry?
1989 90. Or is it a 2.5 as well? Manual, petrol.
Probably got a 2.5.
Oh, okay,
because I think
fair.
they didn't do the... this is when my poor knowledge is going to show, but I think
It's
they
better than
stopped
ours.
with the 2.25 on the Series 3.
I'm going to do a reg
I
check.
don't know.
As we're talking, I'm going to do a reg check. Okay, so the parents aren't into the automotive sphere. Your
No.
sister's getting into it. So, and is it fair to say before you bought the Blue Tit, were you like a petrol head anyway? You
No.
liked Top Gear in the back of the day, right?
Top Gear has a special place in my heart because when we used to go and stay with my granny and granddad, they did, before Airbnbs were like a thing, they would rent out their sort of spare room thing. And so I would go and stay in that. But because they rented it out, they had a telly and a little kettle in there. So it's the only time that I could just sit and watch the telly. And I had to watch it on like volume 2. So when my mum doing the patrols at night, making sure we were asleep. This is like before iPads and stuff. Well, just about 4 iPads.
Oh, what a life you've led.
So I'd just sit and watch Top Gear at like one volume. And
Incredible.
It was great. And because that was all it was on, because it was like 10 o'clock at night on Dave. And everything else was just...
She was in the repeats.
What was Dave doing in the room?
No, mate.
Dave,
Don't
what?
start. On the channel, Dave.
Oh, channel.
didn't know anything about mechanics or engineering. Could sort of figure out bits and bobs practically wise, but no,
so
didn't know a thing.
everything you've learned has been hands-on with the Defender.
Yeah, so I bought her in May the 16th, and I've learned everything.
Self-taught.
How would you define self-taught? Because
Or did you do it yourself?
yes.
Right, it's self-taught.
No, because I think with self-talk, if someone else tells you, like, because I would spend so much time on the phone to One-Eyed Steve, bless him, lovely man.
Sorry, what was that?
One-Eyed Steve. He sold me Blue Tit.
Okay, One-Eyed Steve.
He's great. He's fantastic. And I spent a lot of time on the phone to him, and he would tell me, he would like talk me through the diagnostic process. So I'm Steve taught.
Right.
Steve taught. That's
Yeah.
quite a good
But
expression.
you've
I think
done
we
it,
like
though.
that.
I did the spannering.
Yeah,
I mean-
and now I see it in your content. I mean, if you break down somewhere, you at least know where to start trying to fix things.
Well, that's because the same thing goes wrong again and again and again.
Is it?
Yeah.
okay. That's fair enough.
It's I only know the bits that I have fiddled with.
Sure.
Anything else, gearboxes, transmission, I've got to do an oil change tomorrow.
Okay.
Like
Freaking
on the
out.
gearbox. Well, I can't find the sump plug at the moment. I don't even know if it's called that. I don't
Do you have a lift, or how are you going to get?
know, but it's
Slide
just
underneath it.
ground
It's
clearance.
high.
So you get cardboard and just slide
Shiny little.
underneath.
Yeah, fair
Yeah.
enough. Okay, fine.
But I need to figure out which ones, because you have to undo the up one before that you do the bottom one. Otherwise, you can't fill it up if you have to drain it, because then you end up with just a gearbox empty of oil.
Sure, not
And
ideal. I don't
It's
think.
not ideal. And so, I need to figure that one out tomorrow because she's making some noises.
What, because of oil?
Well, no, it's not because of oil. But if a whole load of lumps come out, then I'll know that something's going on with the gearbox.
So why a Defender?
Ooh,
One-eyed Steve sold her the dream.
you're not wrong.
Absolutely put her in the land of promise. I've done that a few hundred times in my time. Don't worry about that.
Yeah.
Pretty
Let's not go
much.
into that one.
Yeah.
Why did I get a Land Rover? Because they are just lovely.
Of course.
Yes, I don't know which answer to go with.
Was it? That's your first car?
No, it's
Okay.
my maybe third or fourth.
Oh right. So what came before?
A Peugeot 206.
Lovely.
It was it had windy windows.
Did it work?
It did work.
Okay.
But so my sister had a little crappy Mini, and then I had
Predictable.
my granny's Peugeot 206, and then because the Peugeot 206 didn't have any self-locking brakes, anti-locking brakes, whatever they're called.
ABS.
That's the one. I don't see anti-locking brakes doesn't stand for ABS. What does ABS mean?
Anti-braking system, anti-lock brake
Yeah.
system.
Anti-braking doesn't don't brake.
Just anti-brakes, anti-braking system. I think anti-lock brake system. Surely, is the A for anti-lock?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's got
Yeah,
a
hyphen.
A hyphen.
Yeah.
It's hyphenated.
Hyphenated. Okay. So
yeah.
that was the Peugeot was a little bit of a
The Peugeot was free.
Okay, that helps. Yeah.
So that was great.
Okay.
And it was my granny's, but then she wanted to get something that
Worked.
I think, it worked or had more electrics or something or other. And then, so I swapped with my sister because I was a new driver and she'd be driving for a year or something like that. And then I had her really crappy little Mini, which was great. And it looked cute. And I was driving around, like, if I had drunk coffee at that stage, I would have been like my little iced latte queen in my little Mini. But the boot fell off.
Oh.
The hinges on the boot.
Did you buy it from Tony? Sounds like one of your
fell
cars,
off.
mate.
It fell off. So then
Wow.
the water would get into the battery and then it would just cut out on the motorway. So I had this like starting sequence at 60 miles an hour driving along the
my God.
motorway.
Oh my God.
Sounds like death.
So then that one got scrapped.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Okay, but I would say, because that you hit on it a little bit, it's a cliched UK move, I think, for a young female to either be in a Mini Cooper
Yeah.
or at Fiat 500.
Yeah.
That's like a
I
go-to.
saw a girl picking her nose in a Fiat 500 and I was like, that's really funny.
Disgusting.
No, but it was
wipe
just
it down
funny
the window.
because she looked so aesthetic and like she had her hair brushed and everything.
Okay, then she's just picking her nose, ruining the
yeah.
vibe.
Did you make
Exactly.
faces at her?
No.
You didn't point at her and go, ugh.
No, what's that?
Yeah.
No, she
Tony,
just flicked it at me.
What is the male equivalent? What are I think a Golf
Fiestas.
Fiesta, any kind of ST badged Fiesta,
Yeah. ST line if you're
or
a kid.
like a Golf GT
R-Line,
something
yeah,
like
if
that.
you're a
What
kid.
are those BMWs that all the drug dealers used to drive?
135i's or the one series hatchbacks.
Something like
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, you're right. That's from the ends, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of because I think the Mini Cooper Fiat 500 thing is probably a bit of a private school stereotype as
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
right? Like it's the well-to-do lady with her iced coffee, as you
But
touched
they're not
on.
very safe cars.
Some disasters.
So,
but-
I don't know why their parents are letting them get one of those.
well, my sister's ended up in it. She's probably that stereotype. She had a Beetle. That was like the ultimate.
See, that's
Like,
cool.
well, it's debatable because they had do you remember those Beetles, those second gens or third gen Beetle? It had you could put the flour in. It had like its own vase.
Yeah.
Because they knew that the hippies were buying them.
They knew that the girls were buying them, essentially. It had its own vase on the dashboard
Yeah.
for flowers. That's how outrageous it was. But I feel like that was like the pinnacle of like Yeah, private school girl, like getting her iced frappe mochaccino. And like my sister was so trying to be that person. She's now ended up in a Jeep. What's she got? That Jeep?
Jeep Wrangler?
No, the not cool one.
Shizokuri. What's it called?
Cherokee.
No, the really crap one.
Is it the Compass or
something like that? Just not
Renegade.
Renegade.
Well, they're all crap.
But she thinks it looks like a mini G-Wagon and she wants to be a Kardashian.
Yeah.
So I say, I don't feel bad talking about this because it is my sister and I can mob my sister up for days. Exactly. As you know well, having a sister, as Tony does too. But yeah, so I think the private school boy thing is... Yeah, not the one series, but more the Golf GTI or I don't know what else people used to have.
Just a lot of polos.
Yeah. Oh, no, polos.
Yeah,
You're right. I'd forgotten about the Volkswagen Polo.
Everyone loves a VW Polo.
All just walking stereotypes.
Well, you will remember because like you're just out of school.
I am.
I mean, literally.
Yeah, last week.
Yeah.
I've got 3 A levels.
No, wait a minute.
Do you actually have 3 A
I
levels?
do actually have.
Well done.
Is that surprising?
By the way you talk, yeah. No.
Didn't miss any exams from lying in.
Yeah, because you're privately educated, right?
I am.
Same as
Me.
she sounds way more clever than you, mate. I mean, you could not lay underneath a Land Rover Defender and stuff. I mean, I can't, but I was dragged up. I could have done when I was your age, but
Yeah, no, but that's I wouldn't.
You've
I
got
mean,
no chance, mate.
I'm not clever.
This is a competition of who's the poshest.
Richard Montoni is desperate for this podcast.
Yeah.
Definitely for this
Let's do a
podcast.
thumb war for it.
I hide it better. Oh no, I'm joking.
That's probably
but
true.
Mechanically minded, I have long said I'm not in that frame of mind. So to go back to one of my earlier points why I have sort of compassion or I enjoy your content, obviously my dad had Defenders forever and the car that we still have to this day when I was 18 or 19 became my car.
Yep.
So I did have a VW Golf, which was my first car, but I was in a band. So I'd have to just...
What did you play in the band?
If you want to play me in... If I should play you any music, let me know. I play guitar, backing vocals, wrote some songs.
Any good?
We were actually awful.
yeah. He had hair and everything.
I had hair and everything.
Yeah,
Really?
Yeah, we toured America.
Wow.
We say that. We booked ourselves 4 gigs.
Okay. In different locations.
Literally. We're like,
World tour,
we're on
everyone.
tour in America. But the Defender became the band vehicle.
Yes.
Because I needed the space.
And you
we
can
loaded
shove
up
everyone
with-
in it.
Yes. But I had so many situations of being stuck outside a gig venue or whatever. We could never fire the car into life. My dad was the only person who could ever start that car.
Yeah.
It would just turn over. Battery would constantly die, so we had to put a kill switch in just because, otherwise battery was getting drained non-stop.
Yeah.
And it's the same classic thing of on the motorway at 60 miles an hour, everything's shaking.
Oh my God.
But me being me, I didn't have the ingenuity that you did. I was just like, let's send it to the mechanic.
Yeah.
Well, which makes sense, and you probably then only fixed the issue once rather than fixing it 5 times.
Maybe, but why did you go, I can do this? Like, why? Because, do you know what I mean? Like, what inspired you to get...
Well, I would
Hands-on.
love to say that I had planned this all and I just thought, mechanics, that's my dream. I really do not want to be a mechanic. I like fixing blue tip because I'm cheap. Okay. That's basically it.
Don't put yourself down.
Well, no, it's otherwise you go and you've got like a grand bill and what have you done? And
It's more than the car's worth.
I have a little very crappy Vauxhall Corsa and they were like, yeah, it'd be 300 quid for an oil change. And I was like, jog on. Anyway, sorry. Why? Because I bought her on the 16th of May.
It's a girl.
It's a girl.
Right.
My sister hates it when I call her a she, but cars are she's.
Well, hold on a minute, because
I think I've got a few dudes.
yeah, because girls normally say they're boys and boys say they're girls. So,
Oh, yeah. Going back to my cliched sister, her Golf was called Ralph.
yeah.
And what was the other cars called? She always named the cars as well. Not, more
Imagine
traditional
naming
than
your
blue
car.
tit.
That'd be awful.
Yeah, imagine.
What a cliche. To be fair, my 360 was called Luigi. He was
You
a
didn't
dude.
tell
That's
me
a
that.
cool name.
Luigi.
That's a really cool
Yeah,
name.
Luigi.
Do you like pasta?
Yeah, he liked pasta.
loved
He,
it.
he liked breaking down as well. No, I'm joking. He was fine. But yeah, I don't know about... I think a car is specific to being gendered, but I wouldn't call any of my cars male or female now.
Okay.
I don't know.
But we have a deep relationship, Blue Tit and I.
You do. I do worry for any of your actual physical relationships that Blue Tit might.
No, she's first.
Yeah, I assumed so. That's what I mean. Yeah.
Have you seen that man in America who's actually in love with his car? It's not that bad. It's really not that bad. But
Is that a thing?
I don't know where this is going. 'Cause she's doing a lot of.
No, not that bad. But I have a huge amount of love and respect for the old girl because she just troops through. And I was chatting to someone about it yesterday, actually. And like, does she want to be alive? Probably not. But am I making her? Yes. And
Where have you been? Because you've done some adventures.
yes. So if I circle back to your previous question, the reason I started doing mechanicking is because when we left on the 18th of May last year, I had only bought the recovery breakdown. So they would pick you up and they'd move you, but they wouldn't fix you.
Okay.
And so I was like, well, it still needs to be fixed.
Yeah. Help.
Yeah, exactly.
So
and I
you
had
had
great people
to-
on the phone. So I would just call them and say, hey, it's not doing this, it's not doing this. And they were like, right, check this, undo the spark plugs, look at them, put them back in, don't change anything, and then hope it works again. And I was like, okay, we're doing that.
Where did you go?
So last year we did France down to Nice, and then like
France is a big place.
all the way down
From the top of
Nice.
France?
from the top of
Yeah.
France all the way
Right.
down to the bottom of France.
Calais to south, basically.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then Switzerland, Italy, Florence, Pisa, San Marino,
Wow.
and then back up through Austria, maybe.
Sure. Yeah, that could make
Belgium.
sense. Yeah.
And then
Germany, Belgium.
Germany,
Yeah.
Belgium, Luxembourg,
So
the other
you-
one beginning with an L.
So you done
What's the other one beginning with L? Not Belgium. Luxembourg.
Luxembourg and
What else with L?
the tiny country.
Luxembourg.
Luxembourg?
No, the other tiny one.
What would depend which way you go?
Liege.
No.
Isn't that a city in Belgium? L.
L.
Up there, like up near there.
Near Switzerland. On
Oh,
Switzerland.
near Switzerland.
On Switzerland.
Oh,
Go on, you've got it. I want to call it Lithuania, but
No,
it's
it's
definitely
not.
No, it's not
I
Lithuania,
knew
it's too
you said
far round.
Lithuania as well. I nearly said Lithuania.
It's not
as well.
Latvia.
It's a tiny little state. You're
Yes.
right. Oh.
I've been there. I should know
Yeah,
this.
I've been there too.
So you
Hold on
done
a sec.
like 4,000 miles?
Yeah, we could
Round trip? The speedo doesn't work, does it?
No, it does. It does work a little bit. We've probably done 20,000 miles in the last year.
Yeah, but that trip would have been 4,000-ish miles, right? Wow.
Yeah, it was not short.
How many times did it break down?
Every 4 days on average.
Oh, right, at least it's consistent.
It is very
Yeah.
consistent. Yeah, it was. Yeah, no.
And what were the main problems? What was causing you the issues?
Carburetor, fuel, just anything in the fuel system would
Anything
just
that you fixed?
block. Basically,
Yep.
well, I took out the fuel tank a few months afterwards, and it was this deep in rust. So anytime I get low, that rust was being sucked through and then blocking up the carb. And poor girl was having
And have you changed the fuel tank?
everything in the fuel system is now new, apart from the fuel vaporizing bowl. Because I tried to put in a new one, and then I put a new carb on as well, and then it took me 2 days to figure out that I didn't have the right attachment for the fuel bowl thing. So
Right.
everything apart from this tiny little irrelevant bowl that is actually quite relevant is new on
And
the fuel
what,
system.
and what else have you changed on the car while we're talking about
Ooh,
that?
how long have you got?
Well,
About 40 minutes.
Yeah.
A lot.
A lot.
Like if you look in the engine bay, most alternator, I've got electronic distribution on, lots of gaskets, head gaskets, cylinder head, carburetor.
So it's new. I mean, it's new.
A lot of that bit's new.
Liechtenstein, by the way, is the
Thank you.
country in Europe.
Liechtenstein.
I don't know if I've ever been there.
It's super rogue. It's about
Right.
20 miles square or something
Okay,
like that.
Yeah,
fine.
if you go in
Near
August, then
Zurich.
exactly. If you go in August, then the president or the prime minister or the lord of it all, he has a big party, and
Right.
anyone who's in it or lives in it can go to this big massive party in the
A
castle.
relation of yours? Or?
No, sadly not.
A relation of it?
Oh, Count Leopold. So I think we've got to grips the how you ended up being hands-on, the kind of journey, how you ended up. We'd never really established why Defender, apart from One-Eyed Steve forcing it upon you.
No, it was just a bit of a love affair.
Fine, okay.
And I just love them. And I had someone who's quite important in my life, and they had them. And then I was like, right, okay, it's time that I get.
Your own. And
Yeah.
so what then inspired the social media?
Oh, it wasn't intentional. Well, okay, it was intentional in a different way. There's these wonderful people called Somewhere Wilder, shout out Somewhere Wilder, woohoo, and I love them. And they are like a little couple in love with their 110 and their 2 spaniels, and they do aesthetic music, and they have a nice camera, and it's all just very
Are they
aesthetic.
21 as
Sounds
well?
right up my street.
No, they're like 27 or something like that.
Okay.
I actually met them the other day, and it was like my biggest fangirl moment ever.
Did you?
Oh.
Yeah.
Did you panic?
No, I was just like, play it cool.
Seems like you did a really good job.
Nope.
Did you manage to play it? Because I think I said that to you when I first met you, that I'm obsessed with these people called Cara and Nate, who are big travel sort of,
Yes.
again, and haven't met them, but I've slid in their DMs.
Did
you?
And I was like, oh, hey guys, what's up?
Do you want to be friends?
Literally, I never play it cool. Like, I respond to all their stories, and I'm like, oh, what am I doing? So you've done better if you've actually met these people and played chill.
I mean, they'll be the judge of it, but I tried to be chill and cool. I was like, yeah, don't worry, whatever. Like,
Yeah, so chill.
Yeah.
I haven't even noticed your content before.
no, literally, you do what? No. But so I thought I could try and be someone like them, and I did photography A level, so very educational and advanced.
Interesting.
And so I was like, okay, I can do this aesthetic stuff. So I tried a couple of times to make a cute aesthetic videos, and if you scroll all the way down to the bottom, you see this is like attempts to be
I'm gonna
aesthetic,
hunt them out.
and it was just not. And then I got back and I saw this girl had done a spoof of this video where she was flicking. But it was a spoof of Bentley flicking. This woman would flick a Bentley and does ASMR, and she was all like tits out and everything.
Yes, yeah. When you Bentley or
Exactly.
Mercedes.
Yeah,
that one. Okay.
that one. I'm sure she's a lovely person.
Did you see that?
No, what's
You
it?
never saw that. That was like a viral clip of this. Yeah, she sort of looked stereotypically Russian or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm
saw
going to
it.
call her a blonde bimbo. That's really harsh because she may not be, but she comes across like
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
And yeah, she like taps the
Yeah.
Mercedes.
She does ASMR things on
yeah.
it.
Yeah, I've
And
seen
it's-
it. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So I put on my overalls. I was like, great, okay, cool. And then I did a little spoof of that, and then it got like 23 million views. And so I
Was
went,
it a reel?
It was a reel.
Right.
Yeah. It was a reel.
Wow.
And then so I went from I think 1,000 followers to 53 in 2 weeks.
Wow.
And then
Okay.
I was
It's like
like,
that Hot
shit.
Tour woman.
It's like Hawk Tour.
Oh, whatever her name
you're
is.
the automotive Hawk Tour. Yeah.
I don't know if that's a compliment.
I'm not sure it is. Wow. Okay. And
Yeah.
at that point, were you a bit like, shit?
Yeah,
Or-
no, I
okay.
sat down with my family and I said, right, I'm deleting the account. Fuck that. This is terrifying.
Edit that bit out.
No, don't worry. Jack's all on it.
But they were like, no, just keep it going, see what happens, just be chill. And I was like, what? Like, there's people watching. I don't know what to do. This is terrifying. They were like, no, just stick to you. You do you. Don't change from that and just tiddle along. And so
this,
I've
for
been
me,
doing that.
this totally fascinates me because I think what you said about
I mean, what's all that about?
the aesthetic thing is so interesting because maybe it was before your time, and this is the point where we're going to start sucking on references. Do you know who Jay Alvarez and Alexis Ren were?
If I say yes and wink, does that count as a no?
That's fine.
Please
So,
don't.
Yes.
yes, I definitely do. So again, yeah, God, showing our age. These were two of the originators in aesthetic couple content.
Right.
So I'm talking like at
Okay.
the dawn of social media, they were two unbelievably attractive people. He
Yeah.
was like a skydiver. She was like a supermodel. And you never questioned or understood how, why, but they seemed to always have somebody filming their lives. And you would consume it, not realizing that they were basically followed around by a camera crew the whole
But
time.
was it not just them with a tripod?
It was a mixture.
Because it's so funny if you see this stuff happen. They're setting up a camera and then they run away, be in love for 5 seconds and run back.
Yes,
It's
which
such
Tony's seen me
bollocks.
doing with my flybys, like arriving at a forest scene. And Tony's like, why are you setting the camera up 5 miles
Where
away?
you going, mate?
But this is
got
my
your camera.
This is totally my point, right? So they used to be able to make it look so natural, and everyone fell in love with this couple. They ended up breaking up and whatever. But there was a real sensation, and it made a comeback a few months ago of people sharing their attempts to
be
be
like
Alexis Ren or Jay Alvarez back in the day, and no one understood how difficult it actually is to make your life look that beautiful.
Yes.
Like, and TikTok's changed things slightly, but this kind of, ideology, this super stylized, beautifully shot, everything's in golden hour at sunrise or sunset, everyone's got 6 packs. Like, it's actually to do that in real life, very difficult.
Yep, 6 packs, firstly.
Well, not from experience. But yeah, a lot of people, attempted that. And it's quite funny that I think you've ended up in a very different sphere, right? Where I feel like your
I don't
content
have a
is.
six-pack.
Wow. It's more that it's personality led. Like, I think your content is 1,000,000% you, as in like the reason
Authentic.
it works. Yeah, it's authentic, but it's also it's lent on your style. Clearly, it comes across chatting to you now that your personality is the same as what comes across in the content. And I would assume people are tuning in because yes, there's that mechanical side. Yes, there's that interest in following your adventures of the Defender, but it's very much you. Do you wish that you were still doing the stylized stuff, like, or are you actually kind of happy with where your content's ended up?
I don't know. I haven't really thought about that. I'm not good at the stylized stuff.
Sure.
And that's just, maybe I would love to be like just doing that because it does look gorgeous. But I mean, I'm loving the journey at the moment and it's bringing like a hell of a lot of opportunities. And here I am starting to you lot. And
That's definitely not the best opportunity.
That's not an opportunity.
You just woke up late and thought, oh, screw it, I'll go and do a podcast. Why
got
not?
nothing else to do
Clearly not
today.
the most important thing on your diary.
It's all downhill from here.
Meanwhile, your visit to Schmuseum, you turned up an hour early. I think it's so interesting how the internet's evolved and changed, at least in my short tenure. That, as I
10
said,
years you've been doing it.
yeah, but in the grand scheme of things, there's people who are doing it 15 or 20 years. But
shout out Shmee.
shout out Shmee, still slogging away.
He was only a couple of years before you, though.
5
right?
years before me.
Oh, he was he?
Yeah, 5 years before.
Fair.
He's the father of YouTube.
Literally, YouTube started and he went, my channel's first.
Yeah.
But I think, yeah, from that point of view, I think it's so. Who do you think your audience is then? Because if it came off Miss Booty, ASMR,
ASMR.
thank you.
Yep.
I'm assuming that some of them may be left.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
I hope they did. I mean, I don't know about the demographic of those 53,000 people, but I'm assuming a lot of them were kind of weird.
Yeah,
But then,
sure.
But then I also had, like, I was fully dressed and I wasn't being like
Yes.
his whatever. So, and that's been something I try and keep my clothes on. But I do make quite, like, I will sometimes change. If I know I'm going to do a video, I will change into longer, more covering clothes because,
Interesting.
and obviously if I'm away, it's a bit different because it's boiling and blah, 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 and just life. And if it's also a spontaneous video, you're like, well, sorry, this is what I'm in. But I do make an effort to not have like very much out.
Because
Not that I've got that much to get out, but
definitely not for either and I to comment. Moving on quickly. That's because you don't want to. What are you trying to not attract there?
Weirdos, obviously.
Yeah, you lot.
Creeps, yeah.
I don't. Firstly, like initially, because like it's the internet and it's scary people, and who the fuck is watching? Like you don't know.
100%.
And
Yeah.
then it's as it's gone on a bit. I want to be given merit for my knowledge and understanding, very limited may it be, but I want to be valued for that, and I don't want anything else to harper. That's not the right
Basically,
word.
you don't want to be given an opportunity because you get your boobies out.
Well, and also, actually, long term, I don't think that's a very good idea. I think you get less opportunities because you're getting your tits out.
1,000,000%. And I said it to you when we met. I think the UK automotive scene has been crying out for credible female creators for ages. There's been like 2 or 3 in the 10 years that I've been online that have been in our space. And I think it's exceptionally hard to break through. And I think because we have we have a limited, but we do have a female audience listening to this show that tune in, and most of the time it's because they've been forced by their partners to listen as well. But they do get a kick out of it, and I think representation is obviously the key to have someone that they can follow and understand. But what I like about you is, as I say, you are clearly learning and enjoying as you go. You haven't come at it from like I know everything, like just.
Which I think maybe is kind of what is working at the moment, is because I didn't watch any car stuff before. I wasn't, hands up, I'll tell everyone this, wasn't interested in cars before Blue Tit. Blue Tit's got me into everything and I'm flipping loving it. But I didn't know how everyone else did it. I didn't know what everyone else was doing. So there was nothing like, oh, I want to be like so-and-so.
Sure.
Or like, it was just
You wanted to be like something in the what?
somewhere wilder.
Shit.
Apart from them, of
Okay,
course.
yeah, of
So
course.
there was no automotive influence for you to get into what you're doing, basically.
Apart from from One-Eyed Steve, no.
Okay, fine.
Go on,
But he's got Instagram
He's the guy
now.
we need to meet. My
He's
God.
fantastic.
And so your demographic these days?
80% blokes. But working
Interesting.
on it, the more...
Sure.
So
Same as us.
Yeah, literally.
the trip actually got a lot of new... The one what came out 2-3 weeks ago,
Yeah.
that's got a lot of girls
Interesting.
interested because it's more... It's like you can do a trip in whatever. You can go in your van, you can go on your bicycle if you want, you can walk it. It's a bit more friendly, whereas if it's just mechanics, then it's
Sure.
like, well, I have to have a car that I can do mechanics on, and you can't do any mechanics on these plastic cars because they're plastic.
And so is this a career now? Is this is what you do? Or
This is my job.
Wow.
Which I'm late for.
Wait, so,
doing great,
so
Sorry. For now. I mean-
yeah. I want to ask you, what was your plan? Obviously, you not left school that long ago. You got three A levels.
3 A levels and a degree.
So, 3 or 4 years ago, what was your plan? What was your life going to be? Or you thought it was going to be?
Life was going. Well, I mean, it's all opportunities for it to go like this again if everyone decides that they hate me, and then that's what
this
I will.
podcast could be the end of your career. Or probably more likely the end of our career.
Cancelled.
Yeah. I was going. I had done lots of work experiences and lots of different things, and I'd always worked over summers and whenever I could. And I did. My degree was in international relations, which is basically just politics.
Mm-hmm.
Advertising, I find really interesting.
Okay. You know a bit about that.
Ooh, you an advertising man?
PR man. Sorry, he gets confused, but yeah.
It's the same as far as I'm concerned.
I
He's-
think
he's
that's
quite clever.
I don't doubt that.
I hide it well. Diminutively, I hide it well.
I think advertising would have been what would have happened after uni. I was looking at jobs in it, or I mean, way back I wanted to be in the army, but that
Because of dad?
because of dad, because it was cool, because it was just actually like something proper, and you can just I think it's a fantastic thing to do, and I don't know, it's really interested me. So that was army, ballerina, photographer,
Okay.
advertising. And maybe there was a hint of a week that I wanted to do politics, but then I'm not very what's the word? Begins with the
Backstabbery? No, what?
what's the word?
Diminutive?
Diminutive.
I'm just going to keep
Get on with
launching,
it. Not democratic.
launching that word in there.
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm not very
No.
political.
As we've established, words are not our strong suit on this podcast.
I mean, you cannot believe how much money your parents have
Oh, yeah, they tell me
you're-
regularly, yeah.
literally spent all that money and you don't even know your words between you.
My
I know.
only
Thank you,
A at
parents,
A-level
sorry.
was English literature. And I still
But
can't
that's
speak.
words.
That's words, I've just forgotten them all.
And was you taken
Who's
to
that long
school
ago?
in a Rolls Royce as well, same as him? Or?
No, that was only on a Monday. That's a joke.
Don't tell him that. He will never, ever let it go.
I'm quite dyslexic.
Really?
So, yeah.
I am me.
Yeah, you're dyslexic and dyspraxic.
I literally can't
He
spell.
can't do his
or
left
read
and
or-
right and he
No,
can't
spelling's
read.
awful. What
Yeah.
if they did it in what's those when they do the? See, I can't remember the fucking word.
Yeah.
When they do it in those when you phonetics.
Yeah.
Easy. Spelling not easy.
Yeah.
You should follow some of Tony's stories because I let them slide because I understand, but people
Yes.
I think give him a hard time every now and again.
I
'Cause-
don't care.
Yeah. he will just write things that make absolutely literally no
sense.
sense.
Oh, what? And the sentences don't make sense.
Yeah,
Yeah,
'cause
but that
when
makes
he-
sense to me. It's good enough.
So
I don't
fifth,
care about the internet.
Fifth, if you say he came fifth today,
Yeah.
great to see that he came 5,
Yeah.
number 5.
Yeah.
So I understand that he's trying to say fifth. I get it.
Yeah.
But obviously, then you read it. It goes great to
He
see.
came 5.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, something like that.
all I really care is that my friends understand and they do. I don't care about the rest of them.
Yeah.
It
Fuck
makes-
the haters.
Yeah. I couldn't care.
Tony's got that T-shirt. It makes our job interesting at times because I'll send him things, be like, "Hey mate, can you just proofread this?"
Why would you do that? You don't
actually
send it
don't.
to dyslexic.
I actually don't know. And he literally replies within 30 seconds. Goes, "Yeah, looks great."
Yep.
And I'm like, "No, but cool. Can you just check like what it says?" He
No,
goes,
I think
"No."
he said I skimmed it. I understood what you meant.
Correct.
And therefore it was fine.
That is exactly what I do. I literally
Okay.
just pick 3 or 4 words out and go,
Yep.
yeah, mate, that's fine.
Yeah.
Whilst
'Cause I'm-
I want him to like
Spell
nitpick.
check,
Yeah, you've
comma.
I
forgotten a
can't-
full stop.
No,
Yeah.
I can't do
I
that.
don't know
mate.
why I asked you to
No,
do
no,
that.
it's
Yeah,
We
it's
need to
weird.
find better people in your life to do spell checking for
We
you.
need to hire
yeah.
someone, don't we? We need
We
to hire someone
absolutely
very
do.
intellectual.
You're not great at it either.
I'm really bad. That's why I'm asking you to check it. Sorry to anyone who's ever received any of our PDFs. Disasters. Okay, so this is life now, which is amazing.
This is as of about 2 months. This
well,
is
yeah.
now
I mean,
life.
when we go
Are you
12 months.
are you
Yeah.
practical? As in, are you like good with your hands, and as in, are you a practical person?
Try to be.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I think the weird thing about
I'm not.
you're not that practical.
Not like
I disagree.
I can change a light bulb and stuff, mate, but
Yeah.
I'm not laying underneath cars and all that.
No, neither
Is that
of us
because you
are.
just have no interest in getting a really dirty back?
But because when I was your age, I did.
Yeah.
So, and that's why everything I drive now is new and
works.
hassle free, and it
Yeah.
works.
I
Because,
get it.
Yeah,
You've done that, and now you're onto the
for
plastic
sure.
stuff.
People go in on me and say like, "Nah, plastics." It's finished me off.
You and your plastic crap.
Yeah, you and your American Express.
Meanwhile, I've never actually worked on a. That's a lie. I've done like a few things. Like I like reattached the
changed the
floor of my
battery.
360. I changed the battery.
Nice.
What else
Did you
have I
electrocute
done?
yourself?
No,
blew the car
but I did have to watch a YouTube video 3 times
No, but
to
you
work out which one to take off.
You want to make sure you get it right.
Yeah, and that
Yeah.
really freaked me out.
Or just you need to get little polystyrene shoes, and then you can do it wrong.
Have you ever jump
Where'd
started
you
a car?
get polystyrene
Because it
shoes?
doesn't conduct, so you don't.
No,
Then
but where
end
did you
up-
get polystyrene shoes?
Oh, I don't know, Alibaba. I don't know.
Check 'em out.
Have you ever jump started a
Yeah,
car?
I think maybe with somebody else.
Because that can go terribly wrong as well.
Yeah.
by
I
the way.
supervise. I paddle them back. Keep going, guys. You're doing great.
That sounds like are you sure that's right? I think is what I was saying.
Has your car actually got a battery?
It does.
Oh, blimey.
Yeah,
big one.
It's got a big battery.
Yeah, yeah.
It's fantastic. I do think if you leave it for like 3 days, it drains.
Oh, of course.
Yeah,
So
I think
if-
those Land Rovers do just take the
Yeah, if she's not driven every day, she gets a bit arsey at me.
Yeah. The radio's probably constantly on live or something. As in,
If there was a radio, I'd love that.
Oh, there's no radio?
No
No
radios.
So you have got
Wow.
there's another drain somewhere.
Yeah, I've got a USB port to plug in my
That's
speaker.
draining it.
you
Yeah,
have a
yeah.
speaker, amazing.
little
okay.
UE boom.
Just that's a long journey to be doing around Europe, like raw dogging with no music.
Well, I do that occasionally because, especially if something's about to go wrong or I can hear something going wrong, everyone in the car, shut the fuck up. Like, we
Okay.
just need to listen to what's going on right now.
you must be so much fun to try.
I'm awful.
Hey guys, come on a road
Don't talk to me.
Don't talk to me.
No, it
I'm
literally
listening
is.
to the car knocking.
And they're all having a giggle in the back or wherever it is, and I'm just like, shut up, I need to know
Yeah.
what's going on here.
Too anxious.
But
And how often do you know what's going on? How often are you going, what the frick
all
is
the
that?
time by the sound of things.
Oh, the other day, the suspension went at, well, the shock absorber died, and the cones that go above the shock absorber that sit there, they had corroded, and so they were all rattling away, and I just heard this colossal
Bang.
thing. No, it was just like really horrible metal clanging, and I thought the gearbox was going to fall out, and I went home. I cried to my dad. I was like, I have put so much time and effort and energy and money into this car, and the gearbox is falling out. I don't know where to start with that. And that's the first time I've ever like properly thought, fuck this.
Yeah, I'm done.
Absolutely
Get
fuck
rid of this
this.
piece of shit. Yeah.
Get me
then-
a Bentley right away.
Dad, I'm taking the rolls.
I've never been in a Bentley. I don't
You
even
liar.
know.
Liar.
But I called up a friend and I said it's making this colossal noise, and it was totally my fault. I'd just been a moron, and it was just the suspension. And they came over that evening and said, "You're fine, don't worry."
Okay.
And I've never loved anyone more than that friend that day. I just thought, thank you, you've just saved my arse here.
Yeah, well, I
And it
mean,
was
but
fine.
that because you are slightly tied to Blue Tit, kind of forever now, right?
But I was always going to be.
Okay, fine.
I said to Steve when I picked her up, I said I could just rip up the green slip because I don't need it. Or burn it. Like, it's never going anywhere. She's mine forever. Or then also Land Rovers maybe with classic cars, nobody owns them. Like, you can own them, but you're already ready to pass them on. No, not that anyone's about to receive Blue Tit from me.
Sure.
But you're just looking after it and making sure that she's okay, ready for the next person.
Well, that's exactly. If you ever get Ferrari, that's what Ferrari people do.
Yeah, well, they always
Let's keep it
say
nice for the next bloke.
Yeah, that's always the claim
Yeah,
of
that's the
Ferraris.
claim,
You're
yeah.
just keeping it nice for the next person, and usually
Yeah.
people are because they just drive them 200 miles and
Yeah.
And flog
never
them.
done.
Yeah, we
flog them,
ruin
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah,
we
follow
ruin them for the next person. Yeah, and take this. See you later, loser.
Skids.
So we met for the first time at the British Grand Prix.
Yeah.
You were there with
Air Wallix.
Thank
Love
you.
Air Wallix.
Air Wallix.
They're actually so nice.
What's that?
They seem super
what
nice.
is that? What is that?
We don't need to know. Tony, they're not paying us. So
Oh,
let's
okay.
skip past.
Trying to be polite.
No, we don't need to be
Okay,
polite.
we don't need to
But was that one of your sort of like how many companies are now reaching out? Like when's that side of the business coming?
So I've got a lovely manager, Dan, who used to look after you.
Dan Green.
Dan Green.
Go on, Dan.
He's so nice.
Love Dan. One of the nicest men in the industry.
And
Just
he
a
was saying
lovely man.
horrible things about you. No, that's a joke. He
That
wasn't.
doesn't surprise me,
No,
actually.
he said such nice things
Oh,
about
it's
you.
impossible to work with.
He was just singing your praises, and so I contacted him in maybe April.
Okay. How did you find him?
I googled him because he looks after Becky Evans, and I thought
Yes.
she's cool car girl, not getting her clothes off. Actually, like she's obviously there's a lot more to her than just not getting her clothes off.
Tick. Yeah.
But she's like, I just think she's really cool, and I was like, okay, great. You look after cool girls in the car industry, great. Let's have a chat. And he was all for it, and we met and got on, and so he approached them with the F1 thing, which was I think the highlight of my whole year.
Yeah, outrageous,
It
right?
was unbelievable.
The thing with some of these invites, and still to this day, like we are so fortunate doing what we do. I've taken you to a few things that we've been invited as behind the glass to a few things. It is actually a bit of a joke.
It is. Why me? What am I? And you're just like, most of the time, because if you're filming a video, 99% of the time you're not filming, because I mean, if you know what you want to get, then you're like, well, what, should I get home now?
Yeah,
But
you just feel awkward, like sitting around drinking champagne, eating food.
such imposter syndrome.
Especially the worst.
As I don't know a huge amount about F1.
Okay.
Love it, absolutely love it, and I love how they get to go so fast, like the mechanics, the engineering, the strategies, the team, everything. Like, how does it all work? That's always what interests me with everything. But going and not knowing as much as I should know, and you're like, oh god, another influencer goes to F1.
Just get a photo of me on the bridge, yeah?
Yeah, literally.
Let me just put my clothes on, 2 seconds. But oh my god, you got sport by going to a good race though, right? Even if you're not into it, that was an unbelievable weekend.
No, I learned so much, and I am like this week waiting for Belgium.
Yeah.
Awful, worst week of my life. A whole week to wait for a race. What?
So you're now a diehard fan.
Yeah, I love it.
But I think, as time goes on, I assume brands will be getting more and more in touch. Because as I say, the reason that I mentioned before, firstly, there's few credible females within the space. For years, they've had one or two to choose from. And I think as well, there's an authenticity which you carry. I guess the question mark in my mind is like, how much do you care or pick and choose like that path, right? So at the moment, it's you and you're on adventures, and I guess you're getting hands-on and it's blue tit. Like if a Mercedes called you and said, hey, come and review the EQE, we'd love to take you on a drive. Are you like, yeah, cool, I'm up for anything? Or
so it depends what it was, and every like company or whatever that Dan and I chat to, it's always very much you have to give me basically full control. Obviously, give me the line that you need, and I can see if I can say that. But all the specific, like, tell me what you want, give me a brief, and I'll tell you if I can do it or not. Because I'm not going to back something that's shit.
yeah,
It's like whatever it is. And car reviews bit different because, I mean, I wouldn't do. If I thought the car was shit and they wanted me to say nice things, I would say no.
Yeah, fair.
So if it's an honest car review, yeah, whatever the car, like, within reason.
Does that interest you though? Like if somebody said like take our Bentley for the week and go and do stuff, are you like, hell's yeah, that sounds great?
Oh, it's not better than the one I got at home. I'm not having it.
Well, yeah. Who's going to say no to a Bentley?
Yeah, of course. But just checking. Well, so years ago, pre this life, I used to do some work with Louis Vuitton and Zoella. Do you know who Zoella is?
Yeah.
So Zoella, again, one of the like originators of YouTubing. And she was UK's YouTube little starlet. And Louis Vuitton wanted to do a campaign with her.
Yeah.
All the cash. She said no because it was too off-brand.
Well, no,
she's like, I work with high street brands. My audience are about high street. If I suddenly did a Louis Vuitton, I was like, this is like a 6-figure deal.
No, but you have to, because if you're not whatever the deal it is. With I not being bought, I think is very important, and I'm not going to back whatever it is if I think it's shit. If I wouldn't use it, or if it's bad, or if the people behind it aren't good, or like there's so many things that goes into it that, or again, sorry, this is just keep saying if they won't let me do it in my style.
Yeah. Oh no, I think that's so good. Go on, Tony.
You might have to. I mean, if you're not already, you're going to have to turn this into some sort of business at some stage, right? Because you need to live.
Yes.
So
it has to. I have to make money.
Absolutely, yeah.
But my approach with it is that if I can't make money out of it, it was never the plan. This wasn't what I was meant to be doing. So if I can't make money out of it,
but it is now.
It is now.
It has to be now. Yeah.
If I can't make money out of it the way that I want to make money out of it in my way, which might sound really arrogant or whatever, but it's my channel, and it does end up being very set like around you, because you have to stick to like morals and everything. So if I can't make money out of it the way I want to make money out of it, then I will go and get a boring job.
Fair. Because it's very specific to content around your car, right?
Yeah.
So at some point you'll have to diversify in some way, because it's not always going to be about.
Have you ever met a Land Rover?
No, but I know, but like, at some point there's going to have to be some sort of other narrative, right? Or are you just going to stick to that?
I disagree. Personally, I disagree. I mean, I don't want to speak for you, but I think the different point in terms of what Tati does compared to my content or stuff that you might be more familiar with is, I think, at least as a viewer, and I'm saying this as a viewer of your content, it's a much about you and your journey with the car, or where you're going, or what you're doing. I think I know it's called OverInTheRover, and I know it's blue tits and all that, but I think people are following you. And I think you could go on for years, and my old age references of Ava Zubeck and Cara and all these people have literally done 5, 6, 7, 8 years of just that, of just doing, because if you said to me, oh, you're going to drive blue tit to the transfer garrison in Romania, or you're going to go and take it to Africa, so I think it could go on forever.
I would love that, and that's what I want to be doing a lot more, is trips and big trips. And last year I promised Blue Tit to never take her out of England again, or to take her out of the UK, and then this year
what did she say?
She's in Grant.
Splatted onto the driveway.
Exactly.
Take the Bentley.
Because at the end of the day, this is my life, and you'll find this, you have to be loving what you're doing, and you also have to be able to get to what you're doing. And there will be a point where it's not fair to be putting Blue Tit through everything that I need, because I need a car and I need the car to work.
You just won't make it to the destination.
Well, kind of. And so this is my whole principle with the way that I fix Blue Tit, is I just need her to work, and she has to work for me, and she does, bless her, most of the time. She's just an angel. And also, as I get more into car world, there's more cars that become really interesting. And hopefully, if I make some money, then maybe one day I can buy another car, which I would love to do, because that would be great.
Get a Porsche or Ferrari.
I knew you were coming in with that. So come on, let's get into the juiciness then. So now that you've got into this world, what do you like? What catches your eye?
Mustangs.
Oh my God.
I
You
love
couldn't be
Mustangs.
pissing off Tony more.
Mate,
Old
please.
Mustangs, new Mustangs?
Old Mustangs. I don't know anything about
Old
them.
Mustangs.
Again, typically with everything, I don't know anything about it, but
Wow.
they're just sick. But okay, they've got like 3-speed gearboxes, 4-speed gearboxes. What?
Well, they come out the factory before, they ended up with 3.
The autos? The autos.
Yeah, but there's auto, isn't it? Who wants an auto?
No, I agree. That's what I'm saying.
Me?
But all those American, you love an auto. All those American
God, you drive sick.
60s. Yes, they don't know how.
No.
Oh my God, can I tell this as a side story? So
Go,
we're
go.
segueing now. I was in America at a car meet, and 2 guys came up to me, genuinely quizzing me about driving stick. Like, so they were probably like late 20s, early 30s, and they were genuinely like, what are the tricks?
What are the tricks?
Like genuinely.
Well, it's 3 pedals and you move a bloody gear
But they're
stick.
like, oh, we just bought, like one of them's like, I just bought a car with a stick and I just don't feel like I'm very good. I'm like, well, can you get down the road? He's like, yeah. I'm like, well, there you go. You're good. No, but how do I like double the clutch? I'm like, what are you driving? Like, so for
do I
them,
heel and toe?
it is totally foreign
How
for them.
old are these cars they're driving? They're not double declutching, are they?
No.
Because that's quite.
I was like, that seems really extreme for like a 2017 MX-5. But it is so foreign for them. So I think the autos are fine. Do you know Merlin at Duke of London?
I've met him twice, but I'm not like Bezzy mates with him.
Okay, I'll make you busy mates with him.
Okay.
He will flock
Is he
you.
nice?
He's super nice. More of a wheeler and dealer than Tony, though, so be a bit careful on his prices. Joking, Merlin. He has amazing American cars that come into stock.
Does he?
Amazing American cars. And I feel like you should at least get out and drive some stuff.
Because see, this is what I want to do, and I want to like in life. I want to go everywhere and do everything because it's life, and you only get one of it, so you might as well just get on and live a cool life. But American cars are cool, sick. But I'm never selling blue tip. But I would love to drive all the American cars, so I know which American cars are sick.
Yes.
And then maybe one day, if I've saved up enough pounds, maybe I can go and
I
get
think
one.
you should try Porsche and Ferrari.
I drove.
Why? Why do you? What? Okay, I'm not saying that. Why?
No, because
Tell
they're
me.
amazing. Because they just, I mean, you cannot beat a Ferrari, can you?
Okay, but let's try and explain.
Holes.
Let's try and explain this to her in our way, because we get given a lot of shit on this podcast. We're
Yeah.
basically only ever talking about Ferrari and Porsche. And to be fair, you're one of the first people that actually said to us, "Why?
Yeah, why? We don't actually know why.
I think Ferrari is the easiest way to explain, right?
Yeah.
It's the same quote that has been used a lot of times, especially since Lewis Hamilton, Formula
Yep.
One driver, to sign for them.
Aware of him? Yeah.
Good.
You know of him, yeah?
Yeah.
Good.
Ask any kid to draw
It's
a
a poster
sports
car.
car. It's a red sports car.
Yep.
And that's an Enzo Ferrari quote. So I think that's true. When you sit in a Ferrari, before you even go anywhere, inherently it feels special. In
Gives
the
you a
same
special
way.
I can't relate.
No, but in the same way that putting a Rolex watch on, carrying a Birkin bag, using.
No, I've never done any of these things.
I carry
you
Birkin
should.
bags all the time. But do
Maybe
you know what I
one
mean?
day.
Like it's that thing of you're just aware of something. Like just sitting in it, it just captures the emotions.
It's a sense of achievement.
Well, yeah,
As
but even
well.
if you're not owning it, there's something about
Inspiration then.
Yeah, something about
Yeah.
Ferrari.
But Ferrari's a very personal brand, if I'm right in saying, because
Less so now, but yeah.
but like you've got the Ferrari LaFerrari and that one, and then you've also got the one named after his son, Dino.
Yes,
Yeah, yeah.
well done.
Yeah,
and
Great.
Brilliant.
And the Enzo, named after himself.
after
Yeah.
himself.
Yeah.
But they're like that's got a proper history going on.
Well, you said very, very early on at the start of the show that a big part of the Defender thing was they have character, they have personality, they have emotion.
And they can get anywhere as well.
Yes, Ferrari's less so, but pulled off that
Now
word.
they can.
Oh, now they can. But
Not his car that he's got.
You
Crap.
get it, and that comes across. It just feels Italian and thing. So that's for me. That's the Ferrari thing. Then
Yeah.
you drive them, and arguably they're the best and full of personality. Porsche, I think, is harder to explain.
I've driven one and they're cool. Like they
Which
go
one
fast.
did you
driven?
drive?
Which one have you driven?
By some small miracle, they put me
GT2 RS.
GT3 RS.
How much?
No, shut up.
Yeah, it was
A
fucking-
GT3 RS.
and a Cayenne. That was cool. They're really fripping cool.
Did you like the
Where did you
GT3 RS?
drive a GT3
At
RS?
Silverstone?
Shut up.
What, a new one?
I don't know what year it was. I was
What,
too
was it brand
overwhelmed
new?
by spoilers and
Is it
shiny
on
things.
your your Instagram?
Yeah, it's somewhere on there.
Find
I'm gonna
it.
find it now.
That was fucking.
So that
special.
was an invite. That was an invite.
That was an invite.
When was that?
A few months ago.
It's a new one.
Hold on. Oh my god, it's a new one. It's a
Yeah, yeah.
992.
It's unbelievable.
Oh, you went
Do
to
you
the
like it?
experience centre. This is
Yeah.
great.
It was. I mean, unbelievable. I don't know
How did I miss
what
this?
to compare anything to because I only have the tip. Well, I have a little Vauxhall Corsa with that shit. So I don't know about fast cars, and it was.
Did you like it?
Well, it went very fast. I
course.
liked that, and it was very fun.
Did you drive it?
I
This
did
is
drive it.
unbelievable.
It was.
I'm literally watching your reel as we're speaking.
It was amazing. It was like it was unbelievable. But I also
It's a racing car with number plates.
yeah.
Yeah.
I have nothing to compare it to.
But you don't want
But
one?
it was amazing. Well, I don't know. It's just very expensive.
Yes, yes, yeah.
Go to work. Work hard. You can have one.
Because Tony's often out of touch. What I would say, I think, from your side that you might appreciate about Porsche is everything works.
Yeah.
Everything makes sense.
All the time.
And that's from 1950 to today.
Apart from the numerical system of them.
Sure, and there's like been too many of the same thing. Like it's a little bit. But if you bought a 1975 Targa or something like that,
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
you would get to grips with it, I think, as quickly as you got to grips with Blue Tit.
Yeah.
And I think you'd appreciate the German Porsche V.
I found with oh god, this is the most like what the fuck am I saying? With the GT3 RS, it had a
You're
lot
very
of
welcome.
No,
On
no,
this
keep going.
podcast, you're way more at home now
Yeah,
than for the
yeah.
last 45 minutes. Go on.
it had a lot of buttons. And
Interesting.
it's just very bizarre for me, and I love it, and I'm so grateful. Thank you so much, Porsche, for letting me come and skid your Porsches. It was so much fun.
You were skidding it as well?
Yeah,
Oh, bloody hell.
but
It's a woman after my own art.
but I don't understand the buttons, and because I
don't
don't
need
understand modern cars, I don't know how to get the best out of the buttons. I don't really quite know what's going on. And when you've got like 45, well, an hour, whatever it is, in the car, you're like, buttons.
And on that car, there's a lot.
There's a hell of a lot of buttons.
Well, there's 4 on the steering wheel that change all the,
Yeah. The dampers and
Exactly.
the
So you're in at the
controls.
deep end there, but you're also probably at the peak. Like any
I've
Porsche
peaked.
experience.
I've peaked way too soon.
Because like any Porsche experience afterwards, you're going to be like, well, it's not quite as good as that GT3 RS I
Yeah.
drove.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. So old Mustang,
Yeah.
anything new? Do you think you're after old cars?
Well, so I've got a bit of a conundrum at the moment because I need to be doing a lot of miles and I need to come and see you lovely people, and I've got to go in August. I've got to go and see my cousin in Scotland, and I'm going to Wales, and like I'm doing miles, and the tit's fantastic at that, and she's great, and she's done a lot of miles, and at the moment, touch wood, she's being very, very good.
I love the way you went for your head there before the wooden
wooden arm
armrest.
that my hand was already
Your
on.
hand was already on, yeah.
But it is not fair to just whack her on the M5 and just sit on it. So I would ideally, in a dream world, like a car that works but isn't super new, or maybe...
No, you need something new for the miles.
No, I see where you're coming from. You want like a 1990s, 2000
What?
Mercedes C43 wagon.
No.
I don't even know what that is.
Oh, trust me, I'll send you a
Is it
link.
cool?
Oh, it's
No.
so cool.
But what I love is the Ford Broncos. They're cool.
That's a proper. That's worse than your Land Rover.
Are
Literally,
they?
you're going from one shit bucket to
But
another.
they
Yeah,
look
yeah,
so
yeah.
gorgeous.
They look great, but so this is the question: do you want something aesthetically pleasing or something that's going to get you to Wales?
I want something that's got personality to drive in.
Right.
It's harder and harder these days. I've got to be honest.
I would love to have a go in one of the new Defenders because they...
Have you not had a go in one?
No.
Interesting.
But I would,
Yeah,
I would
boring.
love to, and I want to actually figure it out and make, because everyone's like, obviously when they came out, everyone was like, oh, new Defender, whatever. I keep sort of find myself checking them out.
Yeah, no, hey, I'm a huge fan. I've been
It's
a huge
very
fan
good.
from day
Yeah.
one. It's super good, but void of the. It's got a bit of personality.
But then what are you meant to do? Like, you have to have airbags, you have to have this lined up
Yeah.
with this, and no one's going to. If you were going to make a new car that works like a Land Rover, no one's going to buy it. They say they will, but they would want a car that would be like, it's a new car, it should work.
I can sum this up for you and make your search very easy.
Tell me.
If you want something to do loads of miles, unfortunately, the compromise will be it will be boring because it will be new and it won't break down. It won't cause you any problems. If you want aggravation and it won't get you where you want to go, you've got to buy an older car, like what he said, an old shitty estate car that will break like your Land Rover. So there's going to be a compromise
Okay,
at
so
some
what's
point.
your recommendation? If I want a car to do, let's say, 12,000 miles in a year.
Tesla.
No, hold on a second. Hold on a second. Keys winding you up because that's the last car he'd buy. Two things I'm going to mention. Firstly, do you know anything about? Have you experienced Ineos Grenadier?
I've sat in the back seat of one.
Okay.
Don't know much. Don't
Because that
never
was the
driven one.
premise with them, right? Was to basically build a modern day blue tit.
Yeah.
And it's been knocked for being too focused as an off-roader because some people think it inhibits the on-road experience. I really like it. A lot of money, I guess. They're
really
like 60 grand,
expensive.
like that. So that's the problem from your side on that side of things. But that's one thing that I would mention. The other one is I would say don't. You're too young and life is too short to be super boring and go and get a ploddy day-to-day car. I think you can look at something which has the element of unreliability, but fundamentally you'll be fine.
Yes.
So
I don't mind if occasionally we've got an issue.
Yeah.
And I'd like to learn about cars that aren't blue tit and the diesel. I don't know
yes,
anything about diesel.
That's what I mean. So I don't think she needs performance. I think like a
but I do want to do a
early-
skid. I want
Okay.
I want to be a racing driver one day.
This is incredible.
So hurry up.
yeah. Just want to driven through our house.
Yeah.
What about an early Gen 1 Skoda Octavia VRS?
It's a
Or
Skoda.
Superb? No, but hey,
No.
the VRS part's important. What was the diesel
What's that?
one?
What does VRS
Yeah, it's a
stand for?
1.9 diesel.
That's like their AMG, that's their
Yeah,
M,
yeah.
that's their
What does it stand
Larry.
for?
Very real Skoda. I don't know. What does VRS? Oh God, my audience are going to hate us even more than they usually do.
Virtuous.
It's a model, right? It's just a
What
model.
but it will stand for vehicle restraint system. No, that's not right.
No, that's not right. No, you don't.
Victory Rally Sport.
You don't want one of them.
Yes, you do, mate, because it's got nice torque.
Would you document it? Would you?
Would that car be on your channel?
What? I don't know. I don't know yet. I don't know, and I don't want to like. Maybe I'd do a
Commit.
new channel for the different car.
Over in the Skoda. Hello.
Ooh, I'm
Don't
not
knock
sure
the
about
Skoda.
that.
But I think some kind of cool, 90s or noughties saloony. But you're right, like a diesel, long mileage. I wouldn't get another SUV.
Can
or
it have a
4x4.
spoiler on it?
Sure, you can put one on. Go to Halfords.
Yeah.
Like, do you know? I just think that's the route to go, and I think it will fit.
Get a
the vibe.
Subaru, WRX Subaru.
No, so I really like a Subaru
There you go.
because I want to do rallying as well in my racing.
Now, are you going to run out of time?
You've got
All
a
the
lot
stuff
to
you
do,
want to
Tati,
do?
my
I
God.
do.
What about like an A4, A6 all-road? Like an early gen A6 all-road? That would be cool.
A6, I'm hearing Audi.
Yes,
Yeah.
Right.
Audi, or it's a lifted, like a Safari.
Oh, I like the R8s.
Ace.
Yeah, get one of them.
I feel like we're all coming at this from very different points of view. Okay, so you've got some work to do. You need to be a racing driver, a rally driver. You want an R8, you want a spoiler on the car. You need a dailyable sports car. You need to go to transfer garrison in Africa with blue tit.
Yep.
You might still wander into politics at some point.
Unlikely. Well, hopefully not. Maybe advertising.
A load
Yeah.
of brand deals, potentially a new Instagram.
I want to start YouTube. Even though I
You
don't
do want to start YouTube?
Even though I don't understand
Do you
it.
actually want to start YouTube?
Well, yes.
That's a whole other podcast. Do you genuinely want to start YouTube?
But I didn't really know how to. I filmed the trip that I just got back from with zero effort. As in, I turned on a camera and then like threw it around, zoomed into my face by accident.
He's made a living doing that.
No, but like he puts it and makes it look pretty and does
I don't really.
whatever. This is like the most 5-year-old does, like has their first unbashable camera.
Have you seen some of the automotive YouTubers?
Yeah, I mean, that sounds bang on. It sounds like you're
They're
going to
all
have 5 million
very
views next week. So because I don't want to ask too personally, but financially at the moment, it's commercial deals is where you make a living. Did Instagram pay you?
Does Instagram pay anyone?
No, that's why I asked.
No.
That's why I asked. I was like, what if I didn't activate something?
No.
Instagram doesn't pay still.
Instagram does not pay.
You're on the TikTok as well, but that pays about 1p
I don't like
per 10
TikTok.
million.
At the end of the day, I don't actually really like social media.
Great.
Good girl.
Join the party.
Yeah.
Do you not either?
No, I if I didn't do what I did for a living, I would not have one social media app on my phone. I actually
Bingo.
think it's the end of society.
Agreed.
boy.
Yeah.
Here we are.
Yeah. Subscribe now. I
But
love.
is that really bad of us then? Because we're just feeding the cycle.
We are feeding it, but no. Well, yes, we are feeding the cycle. Okay, here's my. This is
the end of
I'm
this,
now
then.
going on a rant. I'm now going on a rant. This is bad. We might have to cut all this out. If you're not professionally doing it,
Yep.
and if you're not advertising a business, which I would say that all three of us are doing in some shape or form,
Yep.
why are you actively posting on social media? The viewing I get, posting I understand, because I think a lot of mental health issues comes from like, I want to make my life look like this,
Yeah.
or judgment of why my life is not like this, and constant comparing of us against people around the world. I just think it's just crap. I say back in the day, Jay Alvarez and Alexis Wren was this couple that you'd look at and be like, well, why are we not more like that? But it was always a bit of a sort of half joke, where now you go online, everyone is in some shape or form living a better life than you are, in one way or another.
Oh, you see it like that though?
Yeah,
I
I
don't.
think so.
Maybe no, because you see that and you're seeing one tiny little bit of their life.
Sure.
And if you like switch on, actually the way I was going to say that makes it sound very rude, but if you doesn't take too much to put two and two together and realise that they've had to set a camera up to film that, and as someone who's behind the camera and in front, do you set your camera up?
Of course.
Yeah, you're not getting someone to set your own camera. No. So you understand that there is a lot of editing and there's a lot of running back and forths to a tripod and miking up, and it's all okay. You can make it as real to your life as humanly possible, and you can be as honest and truly reflective of you, but it doesn't. That's like a 10-minute clip it of your life.
And I think a younger generation is better at understanding this now. For a long time, people didn't appreciate what went into creating content. But at the same time, there'll be 1,000 girls, especially, and sorry to make it a sexist thing, but there'll be girls your age sitting at home, maybe wanting to be into automotive or Formula One or racing, or even just social media, struggling to know what to do with their lives, looking at you thinking, oh, well, I wish I could just go and have an old Defender and make that content. And there's nothing stopping anyone, right? Social media, that's the greatest thing about social media, is anyone can create a page in any style or
it's
format.
so accessible.
It's so accessible, but it's also the quickest way to feel
Like shit.
like shit about your
Insecure.
life. Insecure.
Yeah.
You know,
But I wish, and I obviously fall victim to this as well, as you end up like an hour later, you're just scrolling through shit and you're like, what have I just
what am I
done?
looking at?
Totally aware of that. But they're like, it's quite, with Bluetooth and I tootling around relatively busy, there's stuff going on and it's fantastic, and I'm very fortunate to be busy and doing stuff. But what my page started as was my little love affair with Bluetooth. It wasn't anything manipulative or planned, or anything like that. It's just someone who enjoys doing something. And so anybody can do that about anything. And I kind of just want to say, right, come on, people, let's get excited about life because it's fantastic and there's so many cool things you can do. And just, and if you don't know what you want to do, go and try 4 billion things, be shit at all of them, apart from that 4 billionth and one thing. And just go and do something, give it a go, but then that takes confidence and courage. And I'm like, it's not quite that simple, but then also it kind of can be. Like, come on, let's go.
No, and forever when people have come up and asked, saying, "Oh, I want to start a YouTube channel, or I want to be an Instagram
Just
or
like, do
whatever."
it. Well, just get on and do it.
Just
then.
do it. But also, they often go like, "Oh, but I don't quite know. Like, I don't have a supercar." Like, you've hit the absolute nail on the head. Where the true success comes from just focusing on what interests you. Because if you're passionate and enthusiastic as you are about Blue Tit, that's what gets other people hooked in. I say, I've got a connection with old Defenders, and so that's what first pulled my intrigue. And then I liked your presenting style, I liked your format, and I thought, okay, this is kind of fun and interesting, and you were lighthearted about it, and you weren't taking it too seriously, which is always the content that I want to see. But I've said to people like, okay, fine, you don't own supercars, what car do you have on the driveway? What car does your mum have? Like, or what do you actually like? If you don't have access to any cars, but you're fascinated by modern classics, just do news articles. Like, you can do anything, because if you're
You can
interested
green screen a video. You can go to car meets. You can go to the streets or whatever.
100%.
You can get the magazine, whatever magazine you read, and like just do a video of you reading the I mean, I don't know. Maybe you should do a video of you reading a magazine. But like, you can make it interesting if you're interested in it.
The problem is as well with modern society is that they want instant success as well. So they want everything like yesterday. So they don't. Some people look on the internet and look at what you guys do and they just see a 10-minute video. They don't see the 10 years hard work that's been done before. And it's like any successful businessman or any business. They literally see the life that you're living now. They don't understand the 3 a.m. in the morning and you got up and you worked your tits off for 15 years to get to that point. But, you know, people look at the internet now and they literally just want that instant success. Yeah. And instead of questioning themselves or questioning what's going on, just get on and do it.
Yeah, it is. It's a weird one because, as we were saying, it's so accessible. But what happened with me and what happened with loads of other people is you can get the just one-off that goes really well. So, which is, I suppose, then people, because it is a little bit accessible, that one-off hit, then it's a weird one because you don't know. It's not like getting a promotion in a job or something. You say, if I work here for a year, I'll get promotion. You have no idea when that hit's going to come, if it will ever come. Yeah. So it's kind of just a endless tunnel in some ways, which I suppose could be quite difficult.
The problem is as well with more what you two do is that you're always chasing views and likes, whether you consciously know you're doing it or subconsciously. Because it's part of your job, you're always chasing that. So it's probably always in the back of your mind, like, oh, this has got to be... And we've been friends and I've known you a long time, mate. I mean, some of the stuff that I've seen him do in the background, and that's all for perfection. It's all because in the back of your mind, and you're not any way swayed by the internet, because I know you, but it's your job. So you're it's almost like you're feeding the monster all the time, which is YouTube and the algorithm. So you have to be a bit careful of that as well, by the way.
For sure. No, I think there's so much good which has come out of social media and the internet in general, but I just do think it can be a messy place. Yeah. And as I say, I just think I just know if I wasn't on it, I wouldn't have it. I did this thing in Austria at this they're engineering company. And this guy gave us a tour, and I kid you not, he looked younger than you, Tati, which is basically he looked unborn. And at the end of the thing, he said something about 3 kids, and I was like, What? I said, how old are you? He goes, I'm 47.
Fuck off.
And I went, you are taking the piss. I said, sorry, mate, but you look 17. I genuinely wasn't listening to you because I thought you were like some random intern. He has never had a phone with internet on it, so he runs off a Nokia 3310.
Love it.
Never watches TV. Yeah. Just reads books. No social media. Nothing. And he was like,
I bet he's blooming happy as well.
He seemed ecstatic. Yeah. He was in a very good mood. He looked fantastic. Yeah. I was like,
it terrifies me when my daughter gets older, what she's going to be exposed. It absolutely terrifies me. I literally don't know what I'm going to do.
Is your dad so this will end on this very personal question. Are your parents, I should say, a little bit sensitive to that? Like, now that you've grown bigger and bigger, you say you've got 80% male audience. Like, how much of that are you or they concerned about with the sort of attention that you're getting?
Not really.
Okay.
There's a general, like, let's make sure that I'm careful about what information I put out because it's my life.
Yeah. And where you are and what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So on the trip, if I was camping somewhere, I would post a video when I left rather than when I was still there.
Yeah.
They're not that fussed about it.
Okay.
They see the videos of me and they know they know me and it's the same person.
Yeah.
So they're not fussed about it from that way. And they're like, as long as you're doing you, then that's fine. And there's a couple of weird blokes on the internet, but they get blocked. So
Done.
Yeah.
And how many people are starting to recognise blue tit as you go? Like, do you get waves?
A lot.
Yeah.
kind of weirdly a lot.
Yeah. I'm
this
sure
is-
that's going to happen.
Because someone said the other day, they're like, what? Because it happened. I'm not saying that I can't go to the shops without.
Oh my God, tattoo.
We can't, by the way.
Yeah, we literally we walk out this door. We can't make it to the front door.
If you've got a phone, then you know who we are.
Yeah.
Or him
Literally.
especially.
It's a long running joke. We did Mila Amelia a few years ago, and as we drove, everyone was screaming and shouting. And Tony went, "Why are they all shouting?" I went, "Oh mate, they recognise me." Like, I'm being sarcastic, and now he runs with this.
And all the time.
I said, "If you have Instagram, you'll know who I
literally-
am."
Yeah.
Like,
Even your granny follows me, and she
have
doesn't
you
even have
heard of-
Instagram.
Yeah.
have you heard of a car? Well,
I am.
Yeah, seen through glass. There you go.
So
Anyway,
it started happening a bit, and it's kind of an odd one. And someone said, "What does it feel like?" And I said, "It's a bit like when you bump into like one of your parents' friends and you can't remember
Yes.
their name
Yes.
or like what their kids are up to. So they're like, "Oh my God, how's blah blah blah," and you're like, "Oh shit, like what's your kid name? Like
Yeah.
where do you go to school? So how's life?"
do you go overly polite? Like, how standoffish are you?
No, I overshare.
Yes,
Everyone gets
yes.
everything.
But I wonder
you do
if
the
this,
same?
I don't know if this is an upbringing thing, right? So, because that was my go-to as well. Is also when people come over and say, "Hi, Sam," I'm always like, "Oh, we've met." So I'm like, "Oh, hey, bro, like,
Yeah.
what's going on?" So I give it everything, and my wife gives me shit for it because we'll go to like a cars and coffee or me, and I literally want to talk to everyone for 20 minutes.
Yes.
And she's like, "You've got to hold back a bit more."
But then
Like,
yeah.
and then I start to become like the queen. I'm like, "Oh, cool. Hey, what's your favorite car on the show?" She's like, "You can't ask them all the same fucking questions." I'm like, "Well, I can't win with you. Like, what do I do?" So I go too far. And then I look at like celebrities, which I don't think we are. I think we're
We're
just
definitely-
recognizable within a small niche community. But celebrities, they're so rude. And so I'm like, where's the middle ground? In like
They're not
how
all rude, though.
A lot of them are very rude.
Yeah, but I don't think they all are.
But then also, I wonder who they're actually being rude to. Because if they're being rude to the press, like to the cameramans that have been in their faces,
Sure,
whatever,
fair.
I can kind of understand that. If they're being rude to little Sally, who's loved them since she was 2, like that's don't be a dick. But because they also, it's a bit. Car reference. Everyone like on the F1 circuit, they all go around together, so they all know each other.
Sure.
I'm sure that probably happens with the celebrities and their paparazzi friends.
Yeah.
Is they or not friends? They all go around together. They're all kind of a bit aware of it. So if you see them being a dick to like Neil, then you don't know
Neil.
what happened with them and Neil.
I 99% of the time I love it, and I'm so excited to meet someone who's actually watched some of my content. I'm like, well, it's not just my mum. But the only time I get frustrated by it is if I'm working, which maybe because you make a lot of your content alone anyway, it probably doesn't happen to you as much. But if I'm at Goodwood Festival of Speed or if I'm at the British Grand Prix and I'm trying to make content, sometimes I'm a bit like, oh, how do I say, can you just give me 2
You
minutes
need
to make
a
this?
T-shirt with on the back saying, "Give me 5 minutes."
Yes. And Shmi is amazing at it. He literally just goes, I'm filming, I'll talk to you afterwards. But I don't have it in me. So I'm always like, hey.
Too nice.
Too
Yeah, I
nice,
hadn't thought of that because
yeah.
I don't film anything. Like I film, it's just me.
Sure,
chilling.
by yourself.
But you're like out about
Sometimes
car
I do
events.
less and less of it. But when I'm in a social environment and people are coming up and I want to talk to them, but I'm a bit like, if I don't get this shot. But I'm
What
getting
do you
better.
say
at it.
though? What's the? Because you after it's like, hey, how are you doing? Are you having a nice day? Like this is so crazy. Why? What? Hello? Like I've never met before. What?
This is a whole nother podcast, by the way.
We're going to end it soon. But
what are you saying to these people?
I genuinely am like the queen, and I'm so sorry for anyone who I've met and I've done this to. I'd say, what's the coolest car you've seen today? Or what did you come in? What did you drive in?
That's your
It's my
format.
go-to. Because if they but my whole thing is, right, and we've spoken about this before.
Loads of times.
Sometimes if people come up and talk, they know they want to say hi or they think they want to say hi.
Do they don't know what to say after that?
Yeah, sometimes they fall flat. So by asking one of those questions, what did you drive here in?
Yeah.
Even if they go, nothing interesting. I'm like, no, but tell me. Because I am genuinely interested.
Yeah.
And then what have you seen that's cool? Firstly, I want to know because I've missed something. But secondly, if they're like, and they can't think, I go, did you see the LT? And then they go, oh yeah, I did see that. Oh, what do you think of the LT? So it just
Basically,
helps.
keep talking.
But I just weird because having not been brought up in car world, asking someone what
good
car
point.
do you drive?
Good point.
Really rude question.
Really?
Interesting. You think it's a judgment?
I just always that's been a no. So I say to people, oh, have you got a Landy? And then typically they'd like no. And so I saw someone.
You know what you could do? So to interrupt, my favourite thing someone's ever done is because what happens is, well, the longer you've been on it, people come up and go, oh, hey man, like I watch your channel, that's so cool. And you go, oh great, what was the last video you watched?
Oh,
and
mate.
it's actually so cruel because of course, like,
But who's gonna remember that?
like I didn't see your GT3 RS, but that's what I mean. It's actually a dick move.
Yeah.
But I've seen people do it. I know one person.
I've seen
I
you
just
do
turn
it.
around
I
and
know
not
one
fangirl you anymore.
I literally know one person in particular who does it like purposely to be like, leave me alone, because it makes the person sweat. And I'm like, that's so
But
cruel.
what are you doing? Because also these are the people that are
Yeah.
funding you.
Genuinely have made your career, and who cares if they saw a video 5 years ago or last month, and to turn around and put them on the spot, be like, oh yeah, cool, what was the last video you saw? And they're like, well, it was, I've sold that car. You're like, dude, stop.
Well,
It
no,
makes me
that's
cringe.
horrible. That's really mean.
Right? So that's what I think in my world, what car did you come in is fine.
Okay.
Because they often, either they want to share or they're happy to share. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think that's always okay.
Maybe it's an age thing, because if I say that, because there's obviously like there's people that are all driving different things, and there's some people with their like 400 billion year old car that actually doesn't work. Like it's not even a cool car; it just does not work.
It's crap.
And then there's so and so that's got their 2024
That's so interesting.
VW Polo.
I love that though. And then I'm fascinated. Why I've got the piece of shit doesn't work. How do you find the Polo? I haven't driven a 2024 Polo. I just think it's a for me. I haven't ever thought about it as being a horrible question to ask.
But
people.
it's not in car world. I just think as someone who has not been in car world for very
Sure.
long, that's like a
Very personal question.
It's like
How
saying,
much do you earn?
what watch do you have on?
Okay.
It's like, was that a rude question as well?
Is that all right or
don't
not? No, it's fine.
Or like, how much did your jeans cost?
Yeah, well, I get it a lot, and if you go into YouTube, all the time people say, so you make all right money from YouTube? Like, does that pay you? Like, how much do you make from a video?
Because it's public.
And I'm literally like, how much do you get paid per month, mate? Like, what's your salary?
Yeah,
What
yeah.
was your bonus last year?
Yeah.
It is a weird one because people are seeing it. No one else is seeing everyone else's day-to-day job.
Yeah. So
Whereas-
they immediately want to know how much you make.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how much do you make?
Way too much.
We'll stop recording. I'll tell you afterwards. I want to talk to you about YouTube. That'll be interesting. What can people expect from you then? So I hope we've done a good ad at promoting you. I think you're awesome, Tati, and I really like the content, and I think it's refreshing and different. So if people hadn't discovered you, they're going to go check you out now. They're going to start following you.
Probably block me
Yeah,
now.
go, this is a load of crap. What can they expect to see you over the next couple of months?
Great question. Firstly, thank you for having me. I'm sorry for being late. And I've never done one of these, so this is actually not very scary.
Oh, this is your first podcast. We didn't even
you've
mention
taken
that.
my podcast virginity.
Sorry about that.
Sorry about that. Disasters. One experience you're going to wish to forget.
Yeah. It's all up from here.
Yeah. Have you enjoyed it?
Oh, lovely. Thank
Just
you.
a chat, isn't it?
Yeah. I don't know what's going to happen in the next couple of months. I don't typically know what's going on next week, let alone
Great.
what's happening in the next couple of months.
Or in the next few hours because you're usually asleep.
Literally.
Yeah.
We were saying in the car park, everything's very live. So if you see it, it's basically happened about 5 minutes ago. I would like to do a lot more travel stuff. The Blue Tip needs a lot of work.
Sure.
She needs quite a bit of maintenance and just making good, because then I can trust her to go on the trips. I want to do a lot of trips. Money dependent, I'd like to get a car.
Okay.
Yeah, get a car.
Get a car.
Mustang.
Get a
I want
fast
to get a
one.
Mustang.
Don't
Yeah,
get a
get a
But
Mustang.
Dan's like, no, you can't get a Mustang because they're American. And I'm like, but
So
I like
that's
them.
great.
Yeah.
UK demographic at the minute?
Yes,
UK audience?
very much so. But
Yeah,
also,
that's cool.
this was never the plan. I'd never meant to do this. I like Blue Tip because she's Blue Tip and she's cool, and I like Landies because they're cool. So I like Mustangs because they're cool. Like,
Let's go. We'll arrange a day with Merlin. We'll go
Can
do some
we?
test drives. Let's make that happen.
That
I'll
would
send
be
a message.
so cool.
That would be good. And I can make a video.
nice.
Old
I'm
one.
selfishly thinking of
Old
this.
one.
Yeah. Old one. We've
well,
had fun in it.
what
You
did
like
you
that
say
one.
about
You like that new one. You like that GT500 we drove in
No,
America.
I didn't.
Yes, you did.
I said it was like all right. But
Yeah,
I said
that's
I
good
What's
for
not
you.
to like though?
but it all depends what you like in a car.
Tony
like
hates-
buttons?
He hates
I
all
like-
cars.
like-
Yeah, he likes buttons.
I
Yeah.
like modern, fast cars that work. That's it. So
That
You
GT3
probably.
RS is the
This is why
ultimate.
he's
Yeah,
always
yeah.
on time.
yeah,
At the beginning.
Good point. Yeah. When you have an old car
So
that breaks
always
down,
got
you're
modern
used to being
car.
late.
Yeah, yeah.
Exactly. Well, okay, fine. Over in the Rover on
Yeah.
Instagram. I mean, on TikTok as well, but I don't think many of us. Are you guys on
TikTok's
TikTok?
horrible. Everyone's
Comment below
mean.
if you're on TikTok.
No
but-
one's on
Yeah,
TikTok.
TikTok.
But
It's the wrong
just,
demographic for
it's
us.
just everyone's like 15-year-old bullies on there.
It's really horrible to everyone.
Do you do TikTok?
I know. I got my TikTok to 50K and I
Yeah.
went, cool, I'm done. So that I'm there if I need to post. I think I post every now and again.
Yeah.
But it's not. I'm Instagram and YouTube.
Because they're just nicer people. And also, weird thing, Instagram, they're actual people. They like post
There
video
we go.
photos. They are like humans. TikTok is all like just evil bots.
Well, I think Instagram, they're engaged. TikTok, it seems to be so sporadic. It doesn't seem to be this same audience base.
Yeah.
Where with Instagram, you get to understand and learn your audience. You know what they enjoy. You can interact with them. You see the same people coming back and forth. Every time I post on TikTok, it's a whole new load of names.
Yes.
It's a different number of views. And I'm like, I don't know who you are. So I don't
It's
feel
very
that connection.
impersonal.
Very impersonal.
Yeah.
We're like a personal connection, don't we, Tony?
yeah. I don't understand. I literally.
Still on,
Whatever.
still on Facebook.
No, I never had Facebook.
He does,
Did
he
you
does
never have
facts.
Facebook?
No.
You never had Facebook.
No, well, I might have done
Did
like.
you have MySpace?
No.
MSN Messenger?
No. What?
MSN Messenger?
Email.
On the phone.
No, okay. BlackBerry Messenger. Do you have a BlackBerry?
BlackBerry, yeah, back in the day.
Okay, fine. No,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
We got somewhere. Thank you so much for coming down. Really
Thank you. I'm
appreciate
so
it.
sorry I was late. It's
Do
really
not
sorry.
worry at all. We had a lot of work we had to catch up on.
You've been a pleasure, by the way.
You've
Sorry.
been fantastic.
No,
It's
you
been very
haven't.
enjoyable. I hope everyone else has enjoyed it. I say Over in the Rover. Go check out Tati's page on Instagram. If you want to follow Tony in the meantime, at Tony Grohl Podcast on most social media platforms. I'm at Seeing Through Glass. And reminder, we're now on our summer break. You've been our last guest before
you
our
doing
summer
a
break.
summer break?
We're on a summer shutdown.
That's
We're on a summer
hilarious.
shutdown because I'm in America, I think. Where am I?
Now.
I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, so we're summer shutdown. So we will be back in September.
So is
and-
everything in car world now shutting down?
Well, we are.
You are F1 it has.
F1 is that we take a leaf out of F1's book.
Yeah.
Because usually I'm either at Car Week or we've got Festival of Speed or Good Revive. We always take a summer break.
Yeah.
Because like between the two
And a
of us-
winter break.
And
we
this
take
is the
Christmas.
big pinnacle of motorsport. So as Lee,
There we
you
go.
you should follow. you
We
should follow
slaving
F1's
away.
lead.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
literally, as you know. Anyway, thank you very much, everyone. Thank you,
Thank you
Tati.
so much.
We'll see you all soon. Bye bye.
See ya.